Hey family, welcome back to another episode of O to Behold with me, Camille Young. Hello to my holy rollers. How y'all doing today? Look, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna dive into our topic and then I'll get to my announcements throughout today's session and conversation. Okay, all right, we're gonna just try something a little different. I've been reading my analytics and got some information from my coach. So I'm gonna try something a little different. All right, work with me. But glad to have each and every one of you here with me on today. Look, today's topic. I'm gonna dive on into this thing today. Today's topic is: are you afraid of love? That, my dear, is the question. Are you afraid of love? Now that may sound like a weird question to ask. And I can understand why, some may think that that's wow, who would be afraid of love? But I asked that question because as I watch other people's relationships, as I just actually watch other people in general and how they handle each other, I asked the question, are you afraid of love? Because there is a lack of vulnerability. Can't get it out. There is a lack of vulnerability in a lot of relationships, which to me says there is some fear of true love. Because in my opinion, again, this is O to Behold, Camille's perspective, all right? You cannot truly love unless you're willing to be vulnerable with people. And that's not just in romantic relationships, but that's with your your other friendships, friendships, platonic friendships as well, and family relationships. You have to be vulnerable. And I find that even people who married, so just because you're not married or just because you are married don't mean that you were ready to love when you got married. Okay, so I need the married people that watch this O to Behold channel. I need you to ask yourself that question. Are you afraid of love? Because I would venture to say some of you who are watching may not truly be vulnerable with your mate. Okay, what do I mean when I say vulnerable? Willing to share your true emotions and your true feelings, willing to cry, willing to let them know, to be mushy sometimes with the person that you love. All right. And being able to share some of your deepest thoughts and dreams. It doesn't always have to be negative stuff, but it could be something positive. Being able to share your deepest thoughts and your dreams with them. Okay. Being able to be vulnerable with your mate or being vulnerable with the people that you say you love, y'all, that is a must. It is a must. And I ask, are you afraid to love? Are you afraid to be vulnerable? Is the bigger question. Are you afraid to be wrong? You know how some people they don't allow themselves to be wrong, which keeps them from being able to be vulnerable because they think they know it all. They think they got all the answers and nobody can really tell them anything. So that, to me, that is an issue of the lack or the ability to be vulnerable or the willingness. Because everybody, let me go back. Everybody has the ability to be vulnerable, but everybody is not willing to be vulnerable. You catch that? You have to, why get married? Why try to be in a relationship? Why try to have close friends and close family relationships if you are not willing to be vulnerable? Even when you mess up, if you're not able to be vulnerable and let people know, okay, yes, I messed up, or yes, I was wrong, or yes, I'm hurting, or yes, I'm angry, I'm upset, or I don't like it when you do that. I don't like it when you say that. Or even for my married people, if you're not able to have conversations about your sex life, if you're not able to have conversations about your intimacy, and in this particular instance, I'm talking about what your bedroom life, if you're not comfortable talking about those things, it's somebody, if not both, okay, somebody is not being vulnerable. Somebody is not, because to me, if you have married somebody, and I say this all the time, you giving all these vows before God, I'm talking about major vows, and you can't talk about your sex life and or your bedroom life, or let your mate know, hey, can you do this a little differently? Can you do that? Or can we try this, try that? If you can't have that conversation, that means that the level of vulnerability is little to none in your relationship. And the person who is on the receiving end, you maybe have to, maybe, you're, I won't say correcting, but you're letting them know that, hey, there's some things that are off or going, off in our bedroom life. Don't take it personally. Now, I will say, ladies, if you're talking to your man about this, you got to know how to address your man. We got to know your man, first of all. And then in knowing your man, you're going to have to know how to address him on talking about stuff like this. Okay? Man, you got to know your woman. And you got to know how you need to address her about this. Okay? Because many times people, want to say things and you don't know even how to come to your mate about it. Or even, let's talk about friendships. You don't even know how to come to your friend about something that you maybe really need to talk to them about that's serious or you want to share, for fear of them being offended. If that's the case, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there may not be some uncomfortableness about these difficult conversations, but if they are your friend and you truly love them, you should be able to say it. And if you're on the other end and receive it, you should be able to receive it, because why? You love them and they love you, right? But if you're afraid to love, you don't give feedback well, nor even on a bigger scale, you don't receive feedback well. Okay? You cannot be afraid to love. Okay? And if you just started tuning in, go and hit that subscribe button for me. Okay? Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it if you hadn't already. All right? We cannot be afraid to love, y'all, because the saying goes, it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. And as deeply as I've been hurt by love, I'm not going to let that inhibit me from loving again. No, because I have experienced true love. I've experienced, and I know what that feels like. And I have memories of that true love, that of somebody truly loving me, that I'm not going to keep that from someone else. And not only memories of someone, true love that I've received, but the love that I've given to others as well. I want to be able to experience that. So some people don't want to be vulnerable because you're afraid of being hurt. I get it. It's true, but you need to heal from that, because you are missing out on a huge piece of your relationship by not allowing yourself to be vulnerable, which is making you fearful and afraid to love. Okay? Ask yourself, are you truly vulnerable in your relationships, the people you say that you love most? Okay, whether it be a spouse, whether it be a sibling, a parent, whatever, a friend, you need to ask yourself that question, okay? All right? Look, I know it went a little deep, and I ain't trying to hold y'all on here a long time, all right? But think about that. Ask yourself that question, okay? Ask yourself. And if that is not the case, you need to pivot, figure out why you're not able to either give that level of vulnerability or receive, or that person may not be able to receive or be vulnerable with you. Ask yourself that question, okay? Don't be afraid to love, because love is a beautiful thing. Pure love, sincere love, true love is a beautiful thing, okay? All right, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Oh to Behold. Be sure to like, share, and comment. Go get your book at ohtobehold.com. Go get it today, all right? Father's Day is coming up. Again, my book is gender neutral, so some man could enjoy my book, all right? Go do that today. And if you have not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And if I forgot to say hey to my Holy Rollers, what's up, Holy Rollers? Love y'all so much. All right? Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, God bless.